back to my channel. My name is Carly Stevens. I'm the author of the young adult fantasy novel Firian Rising, and this is English Nerd. So today I wanted to share with you 5 things that Wonder Woman taught me about writing. So as I've said in this series before, it's kind of a loose series. I've done one on Gordon Ramsay, one on The Office, and one on Disney World, so just the different things that taught me about writing. In all of this series, I've striven to not only give some writing advice, of course, but also to show that if you are passionate about something, especially something creative, then you can learn from just about anyone or anything. This can be positive or negative, of course, the lessons that you learn. So the 5 things that I learned from Wonder Woman I thought was apt, since the poster, the first poster from, I think it's the first one, for Wonder Woman 1984 just came out. It has the kind of wild rainbowish looking cover, so I'm curious to see what happens there, but in any case, I love the first one. And these are 5 things that she either solidified for me that I kind of already knew about writing or added on as well. So here we go, without further ado. Number 1, there's no need to pull others down as you pull yourself up. This is one of the nice things about being a writer, by the way. The field is so open that it's not so much a competition as it is just a team sport. The more everybody wins, the more you win. And so instead of getting jealous of other writers and their success, or trying to tear down those people who you think are not doing as well, it makes more sense to build others up, and then others will be more apt to pull you up alongside them as well. So we see this in Wonder Woman, of course. Instead of tearing down other people or other cultures or other genders or things like that, it's really a very positive and inclusive kind of atmosphere in that movie. You don't need to tear others down in order to build yourself up. In fact, the best leaders, the best heroes are those people who make others feel like they have greatness within them themselves. So that's something I definitely have learned from her. Number 2 is going to sound cheesy, but it makes sense. Hopefully it will after I explain it anyway. Love makes all the difference. This is true in characters, this is true in theme, this is true within the story. Of course, at the end of Wonder Woman, she says, you know, I believe in love, and it's kind of probably the cheesiest part of the movie, in the middle of one of the most intense parts of the movie. But there's a lot of truth in that. I remember there was a time a few years ago when I was rewatching Gilmore Girls, and I was reading David Copperfield by Charles Dickens, and for whatever reason, I felt the love that the creators had for these characters that went beyond whether they were good or bad. It was just that they loved them and gave them so much life and so much depth and so much scope for all the good things and the mistakes. And it's a little hard to explain, I suppose, but love makes all the difference. If you care about what you're doing, this is true about your writing, your characters, all of it. If you care about what you're doing, it shows somehow in the words. And then, of course, within the stories themselves, having that theme of love, of people sacrificing for each other, and all of that can really make a huge impact in real people's lives. I think that was true in Wonder Woman as well, when you have that final conversation, and I'll try not to be too spoilery, but you have that final conversation between Diana and Ares, and Ares is trying to convince her that humans are terrible and not worthy of love and all of that, and she sees that. She sees that they're not worthy of love, and she rejects the idea that she shouldn't love and care for them anyway. And that's just beautiful. So no matter what that looks like, it's not like you need to be writing romance or whatever for that to come through. Just having a love for what you're doing and for the characters and the characters for each other, that can be what makes all the difference for your craft and for the impact that you're going to have on other people. Okay, number 3, and I loved this in Wonder Woman so much, but number 3 is that you shouldn't rearrange your prejudices and call it progressive. This might be a little bit controversial, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. This is what I think. So I am, in some ways, all for the modern feminist movement. The issue that I have is that some people they've swung the pendulum in the correct direction, I think, but they go so far as to become, man-hating as well. In order to pull themselves up, they tear men down. And it's true, there have been many, many, many abuses by men on women, just in big and small ways throughout history, and I'm not trying to deny that that is the case. However, it seems absolutely counterproductive to try to like I just said, rearrange your prejudices and call it progressive, instead of being women-hating and women-belittling to be man-hating and man-belittling. This is something that I loved about Wonder Woman, because it was about, obviously, a woman who is extremely strong and heroic, and she is the hero of the story without a shadow of a doubt. But unlike a lot of other stories that are coming out now, it's not, the filmmaker did not feel the need to tear down men in order to make the woman look stronger. Steve Trevor is still a hero in his own right. He is still an interesting and multifaceted and good character who is not either belittled or torn down. So I really enjoyed how there was room for everybody to be great. I felt built up walking out of that theater. It was just spectacular. And so that's something I would like to see more of. I would like to see more women, girl protagonists in books that don't feel the need to constantly mock men or be surrounded by weak or evil men in order to make themselves seem stronger and better. If you're truly strong and good, then there's no need for that. There's room for everyone to grow into that kind of goodness themselves, even the men around. So I would like to see more of that in writing. So that's something that it taught, or it didn't teach me, but it showed me very clearly that you should not rearrange your prejudices and call it progressive. Which kind of leads me to point 4, that strong women are multifaceted. This is a very closely related issue that I see with a lot of these upcoming movies and books and just stories that have female protagonists. It seems like many people think that just being able to kick butt makes you a strong character. It makes you literally a strong character, but it does not make you figuratively a strong character if you're able to beat somebody up. That's great if you can. That's fine. I have no problem with assassin characters or whatever, but if that's the thing that makes you a strong female character, then you're not a strong character at all. I mean, flip that around and say, okay, a man who can beat up other people is not a strong character necessarily. It's just he's just a strong man. We've been saying that for years. You think about somebody like James Bond. He's not known for being like the most intriguing character. He's kind of one note. He's interesting for other reasons, but I like how in Wonder Woman she is extremely strong. My favorite scene is when she runs out into no man's land and takes all that fire, and it's so inspiring and amazing. But she also sees a baby and like can't help herself but run over there. And I love how she has all these aspects to her personality. She's strong in some ways, and she has some emotions still, and just different things going on in her. I want to see characters that I can relate to. I have strengths, I have weaknesses, I have anything that any human has. And so seeing that strong women they don't need to just be emotionless robots, they can be these multifaceted characters, was very validating for me. It was one of the reasons that I walked out of the theater feeling so uplifted. It was that she was so heroic, and yet she seemed like a person as well. It wasn't just that she was this caricature, which is what I was expecting walking in. I didn't even really want to see the movie because I thought, Wonder Woman? I've seen those pictures before. It looks kind of lame. But they made her a character. They gave her conflicting aspects to who she was that, or at least complex ones that I really appreciated. And then number 5, I guess a lot of these are kind of interconnected, but it's to be the best you can be without comparison. If you think about the island of Themyscira at the beginning of Wonder Woman, you have all of these women who are warriors and who are fighting, and there isn't a lot of drama and there isn't a lot of competition. It's just that everybody wants everyone else to be the best that they can possibly be. I mean, there is the part when Hippolyta tells her general not to, push Diana to the breaking point, basically. But in general, they all just try to be the best they can be without comparison, and that is really what we should strive to be as writers as well, the best that we can be without comparison. It's hard not to compare ourselves to other writers, but if you're going to do that, at least do it in a healthy way. Like, I this summer have read great books, I've read bad books, and I try to get inspiration from both kinds. For the good books, I think, okay, how can I do that? What can I take from this that will make my writing stronger in addition to just enjoying the book? And then if I read something that is not good, I take that as inspiring because I think, okay, I think I could do better than that. And that's incredible. This book is well known, or has sold a lot of copies, and I think I can do that, if not better. So be the best you can be without comparison. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It was, I don't know, a little different than some of my others. But if you have anything that's inspired you that's kind of unorthodox, or some people wouldn't necessarily understand how you got that writing lesson from it, then let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear, and I think that our community would benefit from that. So like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. The Firian Rising launch is coming up very soon, so you don't want to miss any of that. And I'll see you next Monday. Bye!